just a few seconds, hopefully. Assuming that Kaori loads in, yep. So, hey everybody, welcome back to the SEA League Qualifier number 1. This is going to be a game between First Departure and Gangster. It's a best of 1 series. Gangster going to be over on the Radiant side, and First Departure over on the Dire. And as always, I am Basekip bringing you guys this game. If you want to check out Ledian Dreams versus Typhon, .mas, that's going to be over on the Beyond the Summit stream, covered by Gods. Big thanks to him. Again, I'm just an unofficial caster for this game. I'm just spectating via DotA TV, so I can't check pings or anything like that. But without too much more rambling, we'll be getting underway with the game. Batward are going to be the first ban out here for Gangster, and in every single game, well, in both games we've watched so far this evening, the PL has been, well, not necessarily the deciding factor, but he's been on the winner's side both times around. So we'll see if teams are maybe going to put a little bit more pressure on him. We have started to see Keeper of the Light bans as well, and Coddle isn't a bad ban because of a number of reasons. Obviously, he's extremely strong with Phantom Lancer. If you get rid of Coddle, you can actually run an offensive tri-lane against PL and try and shut him down. But giving away both the Coddle and the PL gives you a defensive tri-lane that you can't really offensively tri-lane against, barring some ridiculously good execution and maybe some mistakes from the defensive tri-lane. So Radiant side actually have first pick this time around, but I wouldn't be too surprised to see Gangster pick up the Keeper of the Light if it does stay in the pool. The Nyx is probably the question mark right now, along with the Magnus for First Departure's ban. And Nyx is actually going to be banned out here, so Magnus is going to be picked up by Gangster. Wouldn't be too surprised to see a Rubik perhaps for First Departure, but they're actually going to opt to pick up the Nyx. And Rubik would leave them, would actually grab them their 2 supports right off the bat. Not great, but not bad either, and the Rubik obviously a nice response to the Magnus. So they grabbed themselves some great ganking supports. The Nyx and the Rubik are probably 2 of the strongest support heroes in the game right around now. And Rubik obviously a great response to the Magnus. Gangster, we'll see what they go for right now. Coddle and PL are both still in the pool, and they could sort of make it work with those 2 pickups, though not sure if they want to play it again, since they did just take a game. Well, since they did take a game earlier by using the PL pickup. But they're actually going to opt for Shadow Demon and PL, so covering their PL tracks a little bit using the SD. Coddle remains in the pool, but a little bit less relevant now since First Departure have already sort of grabbed 2 supports. Nyx could be bumped up a little bit in terms of farm priority to be taking a mid-roll, and they could still grab the Coddle. But we'll see how this works out. First Departure could still look to run an offensive tri-lane against the PL. The Shadow Demon is going to help him out at least to some extent, but there is the option there now since the Keeper of Light hasn't been picked up, though he could still be the second support for Gangster. So First Departure might have to throw a ban on him into the next phase. The one problem with picking up the Coddle along with the Shadow Demon would mean that they don't really have ganking supports so much, so First Departure go for a super aggressive mid, and then maybe an offensive tri-lane. Well, not necessarily an offensive tri-lane if the Coddle stays in the pool, but heroes that sort of peak early enough that they can put the pressure on the PL, and if Magnus is forced to the offlane, then he needs recovery time as well. So there's options. There are still options left in the pool for First Departure to try and clinch this out in the draft. And yeah, it's probably just going to be a Keeper of the Light ban in the second phase. Actually, no. Okay, well, stuff that. First Departure are going to opt to take the Keeper of the Light right here and now. So looks like they might bump the Nyx up a little bit and then start to look to run a bit of an offensive tri-lane. And with that signal, looks like Gangster are going to start to ban out some safe lane solos, try and find themselves a nice match perhaps for their Magnus. Well, I mean, Clinks is still an option there if we're talking about safe lane solos. The AM isn't bad either, and Faceless Void actually going to be banned out here by Gangster. But I really do feel that First Departure should look to put the pressure on with an offensive tri-lane against the Phantom Lancer. Try and get him shut out of the game before he can even become relevant. Queen of Pain is going to be the ban here by FD. A couple of good mids do still remain in the pool, however, and the AM that I mentioned is going to be banned out. Puck and TA are probably the 2 big mids that I'm thinking of at the moment. And both are great in terms of putting on early pressure, and both are good in terms of attempting to shut down a defensive tri-lane. So Gangster realizing that the offensive tri may be coming, they're going to opt to pick up the Jakiro, so we're going to see some Shadow Demon Jakiro action, and Jakiro probably the second best defensive tri-lane support in the game, apart from the Keeper of the Light. So a pretty good pickup for them there. He is slightly weaker these days, obviously, with the damage changing from scaling, changing from 100 flat at all levels on the ice path for up to 25, 50, 75, 100. So he's slightly weaker than he used to be, though there is still some kill potential in the defensive tri-lane of Gangster, especially on the relatively squishy Rubik and the Keeper of the Light. So they're going to have to both be fairly careful with their positioning, and whoever they pick up as that third hero for the tri-lane is going to have to be able to stand at the front of it, and they're actually going to opt to pick up the Undying here, so we might see a farming sort of carry-oriented Undying in that lane. Shadow Fiend, sorry, is going to be the pickup here for Gangster. So we'll see how these lanes work out. Gangster could actually start their tri-lane up on the... We'll start their tri-lane as if it were an offensive tri-lane, since they've got slightly better push than First Departure, and then force them to move away from bot back up towards top. Though FD not bad in terms of push either. They're really looking to put the pressure on the PL. That's the goal of their tri-lane right now. Not to farm, not to get levels up on the Undying necessarily, but to try and wipe the PL off the face of the earth before he can even become relevant. And Naga Siren's actually going to be picked up here as well. So another hero that could be potentially in an offensive tri-lane. So we'll see how these lanes work out, in fact, for FD. I think the Nyx is going to be bumped up into a sort of farmier role, but it's all a little bit interesting right now, and definitely looking to clinch this game before the Magnus and the PL become relevant. So early towers, early kills, the name of the game, and if Gangster finds just one big turnaround, then that could spell trouble, since it should translate forward from there. So over on the side of First Departure, we're going to have Z playing the Rubik. Lubby is going to be on the Keeper of the Light. Game is tough, playing the Undying. Polo-san going to be on the Nyx. He's heading towards mid. Bottle Rush set up for him. Miracle is going to be on the Naga Siren, and that rounds it up for Departure. Over on the side of Gangster, we're going to have Stand-In playing the Magnus. Heinrich is going to be on the Shadow Fiend, heading towards mid. Lots of stats picked up for him to start. All is well, playing the Shadow Demon, heading down towards bot. Kayori is going to be on the Jakiro, and that leaves Mei to play the Phantom Lancer. So Naga Siren is going to be taking a safe lane solo role in this game, and this offensive tri-lane of the Rubik, the Undying, and the Coddle going to be forming our bottom lane. And we'll see how this works out. The Undying and the Coddle are sort of two heroes that you want your opponents to be running into in terms of trying to kill them. They're going to need to try and get a lot of use out of the Tombstone in this situation, though we'll see what build Game is Tough opts for. He could still try to go for that decay build, and now Kayori in trouble. The disruption on the Rubik, however, he does drop low. The Illuminate going to be channeled, and not quite enough to find that kill there, but nice aggressive play from Departure, and already getting an Observer Wood down back behind the tower as well, just to make sure that every single Illuminate does connect there. So Zoom Rune is a illusion picked up by Stand-In, who's heading up towards top. So we'll keep our eye on this bottom lane, though we could still see some action happening on mid at some point. And these early denies going to be extremely important for the Nyx. I mean, even with all of these stats picked up, Shadow Fiend's base damage is quite frankly underwhelming. So he really needs to start getting those early souls up, and Poloson just trading blows with him right there. All is well comes out just to trouble. Gets immediately harassed back, and Mei shouldn't be able to find too much farm if this tri-lane is being executed properly from Departure. The good thing as well is that by having a tri-lane here, it forces the supports to be in the lane as well. They can't really opt to run any pulls, so things are sort of, from the word go, fairly even around the map, and Magnus Illusion actually opting to block out that camp. There's a nice little play from Stand-In. Departure is still just moving around, trying to find this very first opening. They find the lift up on the Shadow Demon. There's the disruption, and actually canceling that Illuminate a little bit short, so not the full damage there. Rubik now in trouble. Mei chases forward, but now a little bit out of mana, and the support isn't there. He's going the long way around. Is there going to be another lift just in a few seconds? Mei drops low. Is there going to be an Illuminate in a sec? Just barely enough mana now. The salve is ready and waiting for Mei, but looks like he's just going to be using tangos right now. Doesn't want the salve to be cancelled by an Illuminate. So, Departure, things are going okay for the time being, and All Is Well is going to go and try and place out some wards, but they will be spotted by Departure. Don't think they have any sentries up either. It would have been sort of... Oh, they actually do have a sentry picked up, and one just to try and spot out an observer ward. They're actually up on top. Jeez, Miracle almost completely dead. Should have been paying attention to that, so stand-in, getting some good damage down, and actually opting for points up in the Empower, just, I guess, in terms of pushing and getting harassment down on the melee Naga Siren, who's actually going to intentionally deny herself to a neutral to get a fast trip back to base and a full health pool. So, nice little decision there, shopped up the TP as well before dying, so didn't actually lose any gold, and doesn't deny the first blood or anything like that. So, not a whole lot going on right now. They really need to try and find some kills with this offensive trial, and they are putting the pressure on the Phantom Lancer, and it's working out in terms of shutting down his farm. But the big question is going to be whether support is going to be needed up on top. If Miracle can't hold out this lane by himself, then supports are going to be dragged away from bot, or a whole bunch of kills are going to be going the way of the Magnus. And either way, those are two avenues that could end this offensive tri-lane on bot, freeing up some space for the Phantom Lancer. And thanks Abyssal, no offense taken. It's just, I guess it's my style. I'm not going to try and adjust in the middle of a cast. So, couple decay stacks going down. The defensive support's working out quite well. There's a lift up into the air, but not really any follow-up. The Ice Path does split things up a little bit, and Gangster maybe there's an opportunity here, maybe slightly too aggressive from Departure. They were looking to try and protect their Observer Ward there, but not able to do so in the end. So yeah, I'll stick to my style. And Poloson, holy smokes, dives all the way back behind the tower, picks up a kill on Heinrich, and whoever that is gets a prize for witnessing First Blood. I definitely do not. Nice play there, and wasn't expecting that to really happen until we sort of saw the level 6 up on the Nyx. So nicely played by him, and finding an advantage on mid, also resetting those souls on the Shadow Fiend as well. So nice for him, and now really in control of mid as well, which is great. He can start to head down towards bot at the same time. So it's looking pretty good right now for Departure, and also Nyx finding those kills, can start to head up towards top lane to try and help out the Naga Siren in just a little bit. Stand-in maybe in some trouble, dropping low, but he does still have 2 bottle charges available, so Polo maybe wasting a little bit of time there, and giving SF some time to get some souls up on mid as well. So a gank called for, but not actually connecting. And support's actually coming in on mid for Gangster right now, looking for Polo. There's the disruption. Ice Path going to be connecting as well. The Soul Catcher also luckily right on top, but the spiked Carapace getting him the hell out of there. So fun stuff there. Quite a bit of time wasted, in fact, for Gangster, and PL not finding any farm at the same time. Departure not noticing the departure of those supports towards mid, so they weren't able to try and take a dive or anything like that. To try and put some pressure on. There aren't any points in the Tombstone picked up by Game is Tough, so diving under the tower is a little bit more difficult, but anywho. So Polo now up to level 6, he's going to be TPing up towards the top lane. Can he find this kill? I'll just double click it here, but unfortunately Magnus is actually backing all the way back behind the tower, but he's actually extremely low. All they need is just this Impale to connect. There's the Mana Burn, the Impale doesn't connect, the Skewer away. Stand-in survives. Oh no, they use the Song of the Siren. They need to cancel this fairly quickly to get rid of that salve. But a big investment to try and find this kill. Miracle doesn't actually have any mana. They need this Impale, but there's no Skewer. So a big dive, but Polo manages to find that kill. So big investment with the 3-minute cooldown Song of the Siren, but now Miracle is having a pretty good time up on top. And Polo doing a great job of effectively winning 2 lanes off the back of having a good time on mid. Heinrich's going to go across and stack up some Ancients, so some XP banked, or stack up some Neutrals, sorry, not Ancients. So there's some XP banked up for him. But Polo actually finds the 600 rune, and it's an invis. Gangster are aware of where the rune was, but not exactly what it was. So Polo considering maybe going back up towards top to find a second gank, and the Vendetta cooling down at the same time. SF still playing fairly scared. And yeah, Polo actually really indecisive. He walked up towards top, but now heading bot. All is well in trouble on bot. The rank 1 Tombstone is down, though Keeper of Light will pick up a kill. Kayori dropping low, right clicks through. Lubby finds a double, and May, all he can do is just hang back. And the offensive tri-lane working out fantastically in terms of shutting down this PL. So pretty much every lane being won at the moment by Departure, and lead out by 3 kills on the board. Over 2k the XP swing as well, and over 2k gold. So for only 6 or 7 minutes in, they are doing fantastically. And Polo just being a pest on mid with that spiked Carapace. Yeah, it is tough to do. It is tough to do, well, fun commentary and analysis as a solo caster because camera control is hard. But anyway, Tier 1's going to fall down on bot, so that's a little bit of space and his supports to maybe go and, the Phantom Lancer can now farm. The supports can maybe go and try and make something happen to turn around mid lane. But we'll see if Departure actually give up right now or if they just continue pushing. There was a smoke picked up on the Rubik so they can try and make a gank happen on Heidenreich on mid, who is actually completely out of mana at this point in time. And just trying to farm up as best he can off the small camp. Really aggressive warding down as well from Departure right now. So making sure that Gangster don't take advantage of the jungle. They don't really get all that much farm up. Z comes forward. He's going to spot out all as well. The decay stacks too. Ice Path goes through, but all is well dropping low. And the zombie not going to pick up that kill. Lubby grabs that one with a right click. Gangster, now Heinrich bets bot for the rune and does actually manage to find himself an illusion. But the Vendetta Polo coming down as well. And it's a bit obvious who this one is. There's the decay, the Vendetta, the Impale. And this should be a fairly easy kill. Even the Illuminate in over the top. Just to ensure that. So every lane working out great for Departure and definitely not done just yet. Miracle finding some good farm. We've got all as well moving up towards top at the moment. And Stand-In trying to do what he can. He's got the reverse polarity available, going to skewer back. There's the Soul Catcher and the polarity. Not actually used the Song of the Siren up there now. No TPs coming out perhaps. So Miracle maybe should just be booking it right now. And maybe just mocking that gank a little bit as well. Makes his very tidy escape. So Departure continue to push down on bot, forcing these supports to be here for the Phantom Lancer at all times. Who's only picked up 15 CS in about 9 minutes. And again, this is a great way to deal with him. Put the Keeper of the Light against him and run a fantastic offensive tri-lane, which has been working out. Well, I think everybody knows how it's been working out. I'm not going to say fantastic too many more times. But one turnaround from Gangster, and again, that's pretty much it. There are 4 effectively support heroes on Departure, and the other big problem for them is going to be ending this game. They need to get up onto the high ground, they need to take a barracks. Otherwise, it's all sort of going to be for naught. The late game definitely does favor Gangster right now. Game itself is going to pop off the ultimate, and the Tombstone goes down. Reverse Polarity pops off on Stand-In. Not actually find a kill there just yet. 1 and 0 the trades so far, and the Tombstone going to be right-clicked down there by Heinrich. So everybody coming in from Gangster. They find a little bit of a turnaround, but Z deciding that he's not done just yet, but a double raise kills him off. Lubby now in trouble. The Ice Path is going to connect. This might be one more kill going the way of Gangster. A nice response. The Blinding Light thrown out as well. Skewer doesn't actually connect. Lubby trying to shop up as best he can before he dies, but one more raise going to be finishing off at the same time. Up on top, Miracle trying to find a tower of his own, but that's a nice turnaround for Gangster, and quite a bit of farm in their hands as well. And again, Departure, that's a nice turnaround for Gangster. Departure needed to keep the pressure on the entire time. The whole game through, they needed to get towers, they needed to get a mech, they need to get items to push up onto the high ground. And again, even if they win bottom lane, they're slowing PL down by a few minutes. And well, that also slows down the accelerators for his farm. Unless they can keep the pressure on, unless they can keep dominating the game with their relatively early game heroes, then that definitely does spell trouble. They can't sit back and let the Naga Siren farm to try and clinch out the late game. So, FD straight back at it. Polo's going to interrupt the creep wave on mid. They're going to let that be wiped out by the Illuminate as well. And they're not done. Continue to put the pressure on. They know that the reverse polarity is on cooldown, at least for a little while. Only level 4 on the 2 supports for Gangster. So that's a little bit of breathing room as well. For Departure, they're going to be able to claim this tier 1. We've got, again, sort of cheap, effective items up for Game is Tough. And Lubby, he's almost finished up his mech. I wouldn't be averse to seeing an urn being picked up somewhere either. May is now made his way up towards top to try and get a little bit of farm. And Polo here as well, but there's a 4-man gank coming in. Pops with the Spike Carapace. Can he get out of range of all as well? The Soul Catcher does actually connect, and Carapace cooling down. Vendetta almost back up. Poloson just barely escapes there. And Departure straight down to the bottom lane, going to be able to claim this tier 2 as well. Gangster just looking for pickups, not really looking to man up and take these fights too much. There is almost a rank 4 tombstone up on Game is Tough as well. And at this point in the game, it's just so difficult to deal with. The SF pickup does help, since even on the early levels, his right-click damage is absolutely ridiculous in terms of just trying to pop that one down. But it should still be quite effective, at least for the next few minutes. Polo in trouble again on mid. We've got we'll get a fresh Soul Catcher up that looks like an Ice Path perhaps. Didn't connect. We've got a lift backwards, and now Stand-In trying to make his escape. Polo does manage to connect the Impale. Game now moving forward. He's going to have the Decay and the Soul Rip up in just a second. Trying for the TP out. The Skewer actually cancels it. What a steal from the Rubik, and a little bit lucky there as well. Nicely played by Z, and doing a little bit of a Rubik scoot to cancel that one. May still trying to farm up on top, but TP support isn't really going to be there, so Polo comes in looking for the gank, pops off the Doppelwalk, and gets a few lucky splits as well. Polo dancing or something there. Gonna pop off the Reflect as well. The tier 1 does drop, so even more gold in the hands of Departure right now. And having a quick check in on the gold, it's a 7.5k lead for Departure, so just about 2.5k in terms of the XP. And Departure, again, they cannot let up at all. Heinrich is trying to get a little bit of farm on bot. He's trying to be as effective as he possibly can. He's just buying bracers to straight out tank up so that he can participate in this fight. So there can be no slacking on the side of Gangster right now. Quick question about Naga's item build, and it is going to be a Radiance. So Sacred Relic already picked up, and a lot of the tower gold really helping out in terms of making this an extremely fast timing. Nice Ice Path does connect all as well, now chasing forward with the Soul Rip and the Naga Siren, keeping her alive right now. And Tombstone invested as well. Rubik gets the lift back. Heinrich blind on him. Not going to be able to do that fantastic right kick damage. The Tombstone might survive for a while. Soul Rip still cooling down. Heinrich stunned up. Out of mana. The illusion comes, comes through and pops him. And K-Yori also forced to try and make his retreat, but screw the retreat. There's the Song of the Siren, and everyone is in trouble right now. May almost immediately killed off. The Skewer through from Magnus. Tries to get the reverse polarity, but cancelled there by the Impale. They're not done, and actually the reflected damage there from Polison, well, doesn't find him the kill, but Game is Tough gets a double, and what a play right now from Departure, showing that they are unconcerned about the Phantom Lancer pickup. There's only one tower left on the map, and this is just looking great for them. The team fight on bot went a little bit badly, but going from strength to strength right now. And they've got the mech up on Lubby, a lot of gold on all of the heroes as well. They've probably almost got that Radiance finished on Miracle, so he's looking pretty good right now. The Dagon is flying out for Nyx as well. They need to get a Rax within the next few minutes, but they're in a pretty good position to do it. Ice Path going to be reflected there back onto K-Yori, and unfortunately doesn't have the Macropyre just yet. Rank 3 Ice Path, nice steal there from Z. Going to throw it out on Heinrich. There is a disruption on him and the Soul Catcher, but Polo comes forward. The Dagon's going to be dropped off in just a second, but not sure if he even needs it. Heinrich pops up those stick charges and is quite tanky with those bracers, so does survive for now. And looks like he might actually be heading towards a Blink, perhaps. He's got the second point up in the Requiem now. So a big reverse polarity into a Blink Requiem. If it wipes out Departure again, they are 100% reliant on keeping this pressure on their heroes. Do not scale well into the late game. And Gangster are just looking for that one small opening to try and turn this around. Yeah. And PL, talk about a shutout carry. He is doing absolutely terribly at the moment, and Miracle does not have his Radiance finished up. So Departure will give Gangster a brief respite to try and get a bit of farm up. They are using it as best they can, but Stand-In now in trouble, and the Courier as well. The Skewer away right now. A little bit of intuition there, but Polo's got the Dagon and the Mana Burn up. So he's actually going to go for a creep and just use the Dagon to secure that one. Polo all about the style in this game. Yeah, so Gangster still trying to do it the best they can. They managed to deny the tower on mid, but that's about 500 gold, the difference right now. And that's not really translating into any big items. We've got a smoked Rubik going around. The dust pops. They find May. The lift up into the air as well. Channeling the Limit 3 straight into the Ice Path. Great play by Z here. And May tries to hide in the Doppelwalk, but doesn't have a Purge or anything like that to remove the dust. Now netted. Nice Ice Path connects through. That might be enough for May to make his retreat. And does seem to be the case. So well played there by Gangster, able to bail out their Phantom Lancer, but he is just not at all a threat right now. It's up to the four of them to try and free up enough space for him to get a little bit of farm, but that's really just going to come from trying to take a convincing team fight. Game is tough. Put another point up in the Decay as opposed to the Tombstone. So So not 100% sure what to make of that decision, but the Tombstone is a little bit vulnerable unless the Cuddle combos his blind perfectly with it, since, again, the SF can just man up and try and bring it down. But now the fourth point finally invested, so maybe a little bit of a misskill there. And Miracle doing a good job of pressuring up on top. The Radiance is finally going to be delivered by that Courier, so the Illusions can now pressure in top while a team fight perhaps happens on mid, and Polo finds a kill down on bot. Magnus pushes out just a little bit too far and pays the price. Does he have a buyback? Yes, he does, but this is still sort of a 30-second window for Departure to try and make something happen, and Miracle just still pushing away with the Illusion. So I'll just stay on buyback status right now, since it's a pretty tense moment for both teams, and SF actually heading towards a BKB right now. And Creep Wave completely wiped out. We've almost got a pipe finished up for Game is Tough, so that's going to help out their case in terms of pushing up onto the high ground. They've got the pipe, they've got the mech, they've got pretty much all the items that they would like to be able to go for this push. Again, an Urn would be nice to see, but it's a fairly minor point, especially since they've got the Soul Rip spam to help keep everyone topped off. And Miracle, where is he actually at? He's down on bot, going for a bit of a push. All is well, trying to go for the disruption, but Naga, a little bit too much of a speedster with those Tranquil Boots. And just split pressure applied by the Naga. There is the potential if that too many people man up on the Naga, she can just pop the sleep, and then the remaining 4 heroes can try and go for Arax or come in and set up a perfect team fight. So Gangster actually do need to be careful about how zealous they are in terms of trying to kill off this Naga. Polo has popped off a double damage and the Vendetta, so looking for a kill right now. The Tombstone was used as well, so Departure either need to go now or they need to wait around for that Tombstone to be down. And if they keep the pressure on, this is a small opportunity for Gangster to maybe try and take a team fight, but they would like to wait around, I suspect, for the blink on the Magnus. So taking whatever meager farm they can get arriving at their doorstep. But again, Departure aren't really playing starvation tactics right now, and they can't really afford to either. They can't give any space to Gangster to farm up. They need to get a Rax within the next few minutes. Creep Wave wiped out. Pipe is on its way on the Courier, so maybe you're waiting around for that one. But they're already up onto the high ground. They get a nice stun on Heinrich. He's dropping low. He's going to be killed off by that Illuminate. The Macropyre drops, but Heinrich already dead and not going to be able to get to that buyback. Still 130 gold needed to be farmed there. Rubik's going to take quite a bit of damage. And the Spirit Line's actually thrown out on Polo, who promptly reflected. So Heinrich still on the sidelines for 30 seconds. They've got the pipe ready. They've got the Tombstone ready as well. Miracle, he's in trouble. He goes and pops off the Song of the Siren, but he doesn't have an Aegis or anything like that. So not sure exactly what he was going for. There's the Tombstone. They're looking to take this fight, but Miracle can't contribute. And Game is Tough all by his lonesome in the middle of the base. The Illuminate's going to fly through as well, but a little bit of weird communication here from Departure, and that's actually going to cost them some time. But Polo, he's not done. Maybe a little bit of Mind Games. The Tombstone dropping low. Can they heal it up? There is a Soul Rip there. And Standin trying to go to town, but he actually gets hit by the Illuminate. Gets dropped. So sort of a bait here from Departure. All is well comes in, but he's already being dropped down. One more Illuminate through from Lubby. Finds that kill. The pipe now does finally pop, and Departure, what is this? A little bit of fan service. They just continue to dive, not going for the Rax. And again, the Rax is what they need. It's what they came for. They didn't even really get any damage on the tier 3s. So 3 kills, but it's not really for all that much. They don't need the gold. They've already got all of their core items up. It's just a question of taking that Rax, clinching out the game. I mean, there's still turnaround potential here for Gangster. Yeesh. And Departure, they're not done. Miracle went straight back to base, picked up his ultimate orb and brought straight back out by Lubby, the Keeper of the Light, a big help in terms of keeping this never-ending push going. Polo is actually hunting further in right now, so that's an illusion spawned down on bot. But Departure ready for the next round in just a second. We haven't seen Gangster manage to throw the full force of their team fight out just yet. Their Reverse Polarity still very cautiously held in every fight, or stand-in dying before he can use it. And still valiantly farming towards that blink, but the death setting him back a little bit. And well, the prediction is from Endo that if Nyx gets blink, GG. Nyx has his blink. So we'll see if that's going to be the end of it here. It's some nice initiation on him, and I'm not sure if he's even revealed it just yet. PL trying to do what he can, but being eaten by the Radiance. Well, PL Illusion trying to do what they can. Miracle gets a nice net up on Mei, and all of Gangster run across, but there's an Impale. Mei hiding right now. Looks like he'll be able to make it back to the fountain at the very least, but all is well. On barely any HP, and in comes the Song of the Siren, the Tombstone down as well. Here's the setup, and the Tombstone, unaffected by the Song, starts to spawn zombies almost immediately. Polo hit by the Ice Path with a nice Impale through, immediately killing off the Jakiro. It's 2-0 so far. Heinrich pops with BKB, and the ultimate no reflect available from Polo, and Heinrich going to work, manages to kill off the Rubik, and Departure still not going for the barracks just yet. They just want a team fight. Nice 4-man polarity from stand-in. Miracle dropping low. They don't have the Song to try and get them out of here. Game still going to work, and Heinrich just right-clicking away the skewer back, but Game still just slapping everybody to death. The Martyrdom Requiem does pop off, but Departure, well, 3 on the map for Gangster. Can they finally find themselves a tier 3? The fortification pops up at the same time. Polo goes through with the blink, and the Vendetta finds a kill on the Shadow Demon. Kayori, the only one alive right now, and Polo with a pause. Tactical pause. There's a soul rep up on Game, but I'm not sure if Polo is actually going to survive this dual breath since it does multiple instances of damage. He's going to reflect the first one with the Carapace, but there's 2 waves, so he might just die immediately. But yeah, a little bit of a tactical pause. Game is Tough is stunned. What rank is the Ice Path? That's rank 4. He's not going to be able to make it out of this stun to heal the Nyx before he dies. So Nyx maybe just considering what he wants to buy before he dies at this point. And he actually disconnected and reconnected to add an air of legitimacy to the tactical pause. He's got 4 wand charges as well, so there's some potential there, but we'll see if he survives. And it looks like we're ready to go. There's a tower hit flying in his way in just a second as well. There's the unpause. Polo gets the reflect. The soul rep actually is there. Looks like Game maybe not stunned for long enough. He's going to try and TP out. Polo survives. Now turning around onto Kayori, the Dagon as well. Just a little bit too tanky onto the Jakiro, and 6 wand charges for him. But nice survival by the Nyx, and Polo able to blink out to the low ground and make his escape. Miracle continues to put the pressure on, but Departure, they're finding good fights, but they aren't really finding the racks just yet. The Magnus ulti going to be on cooldown for about a minute, so they all need to go heal up and then just be straight back to it right now. And yeah, Miracle farming up a little bit, probably just heading towards a Manta Style as that next big pickup for him. Is there anything big on the courier? It's actually just a gem bought up by Z. They could try and pick up Roshan before going for the next push, which would mean that Miracle could be a little bit more aggressive in terms of pushing up onto the high ground and trying to force a fight. Just using those illusions to try and force Gangster to try and come out. So the Manta Style pickup working in their favor as well, so since they can just spam waves of illusions up at the tower and try and just take it that way. So the slow rolling push, as some may call it. Roshan gonna be pretty slow, frankly, for Departure right now, but Rubik has Ice Path, so able to stun up the big man at least a little bit, and stealing a bit of AC's content there, so not sure what's going on with me at the moment. I guess I'm getting a little bit tired. Miracle continues to farm. It's a little bit of a respite for Gangster. We'll see if this is an opportunity to try and grab any items or anything like that. Stand-in does actually have his Blink Dagger up right now, so that's a pretty significant pickup. PL still pretty much absolutely nothing on him, so it's a long road to recovery, though Gangster's still holding on right now. I think a lot of it is just Departure opting to man up on all of these team fights as opposed to trying to slow push anything. Though they're going to be able to claim Roshan in a second, and with that Manta Style up on Miracle, who is going to grab the Aegis, they should be able to slow push down at least the 1 Rax, and that gives themselves a nice opportunity. And yeah, definitely a very slow rush there, but they do finally get it down in the end. And Gangster not feeling confident enough to go and try and take a team fight at the pit. Heinrich is actually off to the side. He's got BKB TP available, but he's going to be walking straight into Game is Tough, who's actually invis. Maybe not enough vision there since it is nighttime, so Heinrich still alive, and he's going to be TPing back. All of Departure grouped up on mid. Gangster doing the best they can to try and get these waves pushed out on top and on mid. So fairly nice for them, but Polo's son finds a pickoff on the Shadow Demon. Well played by him, and he's going to be looking for the initiation shortly with that Blink Dagger up as well. This is the illusions heading up onto the high ground. Polo blinks forward, gets the Impale off on Gangster. That's going to get on the stand-in. Who's actually going to cancel off his Blink Dagger for a little bit. And Departure, they actually managed to get a pretty big investment from Gangster right now. The Macropyre thrown out there by the Jakiro. Reverse Polarity still waiting. Rubik maybe needs to hide back a little bit further if he's going to have any hope of stealing that one. so does opt to back off right now. And even buyback is available for Miracle as well. So even if he dies twice, he can buy back and come back a third time with Lubby bringing him into the fight. The pipe does now pop, so Departure looking to go for this one, and Polo goes for it aggressively with the blink, and Kayori immediately the target. Where is Standen? Still not initiating just yet. Heinrich going to work and actually gets the Requiem off as well. Nice 3-man reverse polarity, immediately killing off the, well, not actually killing off the Rubik, who does still survive for now, and Illuminate flying through. What is happening? Miracle's actually trying to take a Rax up on top, so it's all a diversion down on bottom lane. He manages to find the tier 3. Can he find the Rax as well? Waiting for his teammates to rejoin the fight to pop off that song and take the fight proper. Tombstone wasn't even committed to that push down at bot. So while well held by Gangster, they used a lot of cooldowns for that one, and Departure now have their opening. Nyx making his way into the base, and this is looking pretty bad. I don't think there's any anti-invis picked up. Miracle ready to go for this initiation. He's still got the Aegis online, and Polo finds a pickoff on the Jakiro. Another nuke through with the Dagon, and Departure finally broke through the wall of defense for Gangster. Up on the high ground, Tombstone not used just yet. All is well coming forward, but he's going to get stunned up, looking for the disruption to try and get some Radiance burn of his own. But this is looking pretty dire right now. The cooldowns, which are really what Gangster need, are just a little bit too far away. Miracle heads towards mid. The melee barracks does already fall up on top. And yeah, just fantastic play from Departure. Finally managing to break their way into the base with some sneaky plays, frankly. And GG called, but there hasn't been... Oh, there actually was a GG called by Kayori. So it looks like that's going to be the end of it. Didn't actually catch that one. Oh no, wait, go. That was a go. Not a good game. So this is a bit sneaky here from Departure, and maybe a little bit bad-mannered, but they are still wiping everyone out. Nice 2-man impale through Standen, looking for that skewer. Does connect with the blind in over the top, and now Shadow Fiend immediately the target. He's BKB'd up, so he's immune to the song, but it's not actually helping him out in this case. Looks like he might be able to make it back to the fountain, but that's about it. Stand-in dropping low, able to retreat underneath the tier 4s. Miracle finds himself a kill just with the Radiance burn. Polo still in amongst the base. Gangster, never say die for them right now. 4-staff away on the Nyx, turns around for the Impale and still alive. Blink going to be up in just a second, but he's not done. He wants kills. He's looking for blood. May does make it into the Doppelwalk there, so will survive. Miracle looking to actually secure the game here on mid. 5k gold picked up for him. And now that Departure have finally broken that defensive line of the base, it should be the GG, as the Troll Nyx has called in chat. So this is one last opportunity perhaps for Gangster. Game of Stuff actually pretty low on mana. The Tombstone still on cooldown for now. They're going to get some Radiant solutions of their very own as well. And the Aegis actually now down on Miracle. He does have buyback available, and the song now popped off. The absolutely ridiculous cooldown on that one, getting everyone back to safety. But it's only been 1 Rax taken so far, barring a very trollish range creep picking up this melee Rax. And Lubby can pop off that ultimate in just a second to bring someone back into the fight. So while Game is Tough has TP'd back, he's not actually all that far away. Polo comes back in with full HP. Miracle goes bot, and Gangster just scrabbling right now, trying to find what they can. Stand-in's going to be stunned up, and Polo looking for this kill. There's going to be a skewer away. The burn damage probably not going to be enough. Coddle buys himself a Dagon. The ranged barracks falls on mid, and Heinrich trying to kill off Miracle, who's just going to run for his life away from that Requiem. Tower not quite enough to kill him off. Only a few seconds away from the Song of the Siren as well, and just a little bit too speedy for the SF there. Polo being force-tapped in again. Still looking for more kills. Heinrich going to be blinded back. The TP away. Attempted from Lubby, but a nice 2-man reverse polarity. Catches almost, well, catches 2. Catch everyone. Game of Stuff comes in, just looking for the man up right now. Pops with the pipe as well. The Tombstone just being right-clicked down. They don't have the blind to protect that one this time around. So it's just a never-ending team fight. Polo comes back in. Impale doesn't connect on anything. Heinrich still going to work on a Miracle, but once again, the Song of the Siren being such a pest. Game is Tough lining up his 2-man decay, and Polo ready to go for that Vendetta. May chasing through onto Miracle, but not sure if he's actually going to be able to find this kill. The drum charge pops. There's the net, but one right click actually finds May that kill. So 4 dead on the side of Departure, but we do actually have the Martyrdom Requiem popping off from the Shadow Fiend and killing off Game is Tough. So Gangster still with one leg, well, you know, still standing on one leg right now. They've got 2 barracks down, So not sure if they can even hold out against that, and Departure are going to be regrouping to go for another push in just a second. But yes, it was a team wipe in favor of Gangster that time around. So Departure still on the sidelines for a little bit. Did we already see a buyback used from Naga? No, she's just barely away from it. What's on the courier right now? It's 2 ultimate orbs, so Scotty looks like it's going to be the pickup. Looks like it's going to be the pickup for the Naga Siren, and a little bit of a calm moment now, but it's really the calm before the storm. The tier 3 on bot extremely low. Departure looking to secure themselves some mega creeps and clinch out this game. They could wait around for the next Roshan, but they don't really need to. Gangster finding what farm they can. PL is hours away from really being relevant in this game. He's got his drum. Nice adjustment from him, trying to be as effective as he possibly could. Mask of Madness picked up by Heinrich as well. It's cost-effective items all around. But not sure if it's going to be enough to hold out against the currently 15k XP advantage and the 25k gold lead for Departure. And what's Polo, the Troll Nyx, got up his sleeve? He's got a second Dagon and 14 Sentry Wards. So we might see some nice Sentry Ward drawing from Polo just before the end of this game. Yeah, the Troll Nyx, I think, confirmed. He's back in the base. He's actually standing underneath this Radiant Sentry right now, so they're going to spot him out. They get the skewer through. They might actually be able to kill him off. Troll Nyx may be regretting his decisions right now. He actually had the blink up for a second, but not going to survive. Is killed off, and Troll Nyx paying with his life. There is still the potential for Departure to lose this game. Heinrich chasing forward aggressively, now turning his attention towards Z. Miracle is still a fair way away, but Game of Stuff is going to man up, pop off the Shivas as well. The Tombstone's still alive. The Requiem going to pop up. Miracle in the fight right now. Heinrich dropping low, stuck in that ensnare. Just going to be right-click down. Post haste and double Requiem pop off. One's the Martyrdom, one's the Rubik at the exact same time. So some nice cinematic action going on there for everyone. Miracle still chasing forward. He's got his Scotty. He doesn't really care right now. I'm looking for May at the moment. He was just being burned to death. The skewer from Scandin doesn't actually connect on the Naga Siren, though the reverse blight. He does find a kill on the Rubik, but Miracle is pretty much unstoppable at this point. A buyback from the Magnus, but it's going to be Mega Creeps in just a second. So this should be the game claimed. Not even going for the racks right now. They just want a few more kills. The Mega Creep's completely unnecessary when the Ancient is actually under attack. And PP going to be calling the GG as well in spectator chat. But Gangster, never say that attitude for them. Not giving up just yet. Song of the Siren's still available for Miracle. He's threatening that one, and he could just use it to buy enough time for the Ancient to actually fall if he's careful with the positioning and doesn't make the Ancient immune. But they're actually just looking for one last big team fight. The Illuminate being channeled as well. Shadow Demon, no hope for him. Stand making his retreat back to the fountain. Heading towards a Refresher Orb there, but the Ancient already very low. The GG well played going to be called by the Dota Talk guys, and finally Gangster going to tap out as the Ancient drops. And we see that Troll Nyx 14 Sentry Wards on the ground. So anyway, this was a very exciting game for the SEA League Qualifier number 1. First Departure up against Gangster. First Departure going to walk away with the win. I've been Basekip bringing you guys this game. I don't know if we actually have any more SEA League qualifiers tonight, though I do think there is some more happening tomorrow. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game. If you got any feedback on my casting or any replays or anything that you'd like me to cover, I do practice every single day. Please feel free to send me an email at basekipdota@gmail.com. But thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope to see you in future broadcasts.